let you get into. I made a note of where everybody was. Some folks just were writing the problem down. Some of you had almost all of it, but the way I see it, there's about 4 steps. First thing is, we've got something missing here. What's missing? The hypotenuse. How do you find it?
I don't know.
Okay. Pythagorean theorem. So to me, the first step was, do you know to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the missing side? So let me write the formula down. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Of course, there's my hypotenuse. And do you notice I put the quantity 2 times the square root of 21 in parentheses because I saw 2 or 3 folks make that math error. I want to break this down into 2 steps, although I probably wouldn't do that if I was doing it on my own paper. You knew the square root of 21 squared was 21. Everybody got that. Then you did 21 times 2, so that's how you got 42. But you've got to square the 2 and the square root of 21. So that's going to give you 84. So C is 10. Okay. And so I put a note here, even before I looked, I kind of figured that was going to be a problem. I called this 1A. You need to know how to square 2 times the square root of 21. I kind of figured that might be an issue. Okay, the next thing that I was looking to see if you could do was to label all the parts. Could you? So this would be your hypotenuse. This would be your adjacent, and this would be your opposite. And I either look for it to be labeled on your diagram or for it to be correct when you did your ratios. So the second thing I was looking to see if you could label all the parts. Now, if we go back to the question, the next thing I thought you should be able to do is to know your trig ratios, because you've got to do sine, cosine, tan, and so forth. And I didn't think about this, but Leslie brought up a good point. I didn't make a number out of this because I didn't think about it. I just assumed, and I shouldn't have. When it says exact ratios, that means don't round into a decimal, leave it as a fraction. Okay? Because exact means you haven't rounded it. You haven't lost any accuracy. Whereas a decimal, you've lost a little accuracy. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the trig ratios. If you remember, sine of theta, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So it's 4/10, which we could reduce to 2/5. So sine of theta is 2/5. I probably would, at this point, I'm not sure that I would count off if you left it as 4/10, but if it's multiple choice, make sure that you're able to reduce. Okay. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And 2 will go into 10 5 times, so that gives you square root of 21 over 5. Tan of theta is opposite over adjacent. So it'll be 4 over 2 square root of 21, which reduces to 2 over the square root of 21. What now?
Multiply by 4 square root of 21.
Beautiful. We want to rationalize. So that pretty much gets my list caught up. Number 3 was no trig ratios. and 4 was, be able to rationalize. And I'm going to do just what Tucker recommended, and I'm going to multiply top and bottom by the square root of 21. And that's my answer. Square root of 21. Now that takes care of sine, cosine, and tan. Now we got to do the reciprocal stuff, right? And you got choices. You can either go back to the triangle, or you can just flip the answer. So what's the reciprocal function that goes with sine? Opposite.
Hypotenuse over opposite.
Opposite over hypotenuse.
Is sine. So what's its reciprocal?
Hypotenuse over opposite.
And what's it called, though? Cosecant. Good. And you got to remember, you can't use that first letter as a good clue. So that's how I remember it. Is it doesn't start with the letter I think it will. So sine, we're looking at cosecant. And so all I have to do is flip it. So instead of 2/5 being my answer, 5/2. I don't even have to go through, I could have done 10 over 4 and then reduced, but, okay, so that's taken care of. Cosine is going to go with secant. And I'm going to go right here and put 5 over the square root of 21. Well, yeah. I got to rationalize, though, before I can do that. And once you start rationalizing, it's pretty easy to see what's going to happen. Then cotan. And guys, if I go back here to, I could go to right here, where I had 2 over the square root of 21 and just flip it. That's my answer, square root of 21 over 2. That makes it a little bit easier. You see what I did? If I did this, then I'd have to do a little bit more math. I'd have to rationalize it, whereas this is the same thing, and I can go from there, because you remember cotangent is adjacent over opposite, so it's a little bit easier to do that. So and those are the 4 pieces I think that go with that.